Mondays. Wow.
Are we on?
Yeah, we're on the internets.
Oh, we're not on starting the show yet.
Not yet, no. He's waiting for me. Here we go. Hey, good evening, everyone. This is Robert with the world-renowned Mr. Texas Real Estate. This is the Texas Real Estate Mastermind Hour. Did I wake you up there?
Yeah, that was right in my ear. I just took the headphones off. All right. I've got a realtor here. I put a post on Facebook because this is what I'm hearing around the country. It's not showing up in the data yet, but this is what I'm hearing around the country.
Yeah.
She's not in Texas. She's got a 913 area code. I don't know where that is. People keep asking me if it's hard now that the real estate market is going down. As I explained, this is not happening, and I get the eye roll a lot. Well, let me explain what happened this week. We got beat out on a $510,000 home by an offer that was $60K higher, waived inspections, waived appraisal. It is a big conversation again in the real estate circle. Welcome back to bidding way over and waive everything. Last couple of months were nice while they lasted for buyers. This isn't our only example this week. The rest are just as bad or worse than $60K over asking and all price points. If you have a house you want to sell, let's do it. All right, and then she puts her stuff in here. So the data, it lags by about at least 30 days, right?
Yeah.
And we talk to a lot of real estate agents, and I can see it. Kate and I can see it for the offers we're
Crash
making.
is over, boys.
It's now we're back to, instead of getting 2 offers, you're now getting 6.
So let me interpret what you have been saying for the last 90 days, because I watched not the one you did today, but the other one you did, and to the mastermind. So I'm speaking to our mastermind members right now. Let me interpret. You need to buy your stuff now.
Yeah.
Right? Because what's happening is interest rates are going down. There's pent-up demand. So when he says he's opening the floodgates, that means it is going to be harder for you to compete against a retail buyer.
Absolutely.
Right now, there are not enough retail buyers in the marketplace in certain places that we're buying. And so for us, we're able to go in and buy a duplex in the Heights for under $400,000. And that will cash flow all day long. And it's going to have massive amounts of equity. But if this was June,
that thing would have been
no
gone.
way, right?
No way.
It's a little market timing, and it's not that we're, it just is every year. Like we talk about this every January, February. Like the market, now's the time to buy. Now's the time to buy. Everyone's freaked out, and then the market explodes for the summer because that's what happens in Houston. So for us in the mastermind, when he says the floodgates are opening, what he's saying to you is it's going to be more difficult to find a good deal because now we're going to be competing with retail buyers. And when there is still not enough houses in this marketplace, there's still only a 2.6 months worth of inventory. And as we've teach over and over, 4 to 6 months is a normal market. We're still under the amount of listings that are good for a healthy market. Retail buyers will then take the ones with the crappy kitchen and the crappy bathroom, and they'll get the renovation done themselves.
Right.
And so then, therefore, you're not getting any of that forced equity. So in our mastermind right now, I think there's 3 deals just get dropped into the file folder today. So if you're listening, go look.
Yeah.
Right? Those deals would not be available in June, July, or August.
Oh, yeah. And they'll go, I'm trying to think what we have left. I mean, we have 1 property left. We started last week with 6 or 7 properties. And I'll tell you what's happening now is the folks that are aggressive in our mastermind, I'll literally put it in front of them. We'll have an answer back. Yeah, I'll take it. I'll be at the office to write a check and sign a contract. That's what's happening. If you need 2-3 days to look at it, I need to go. I need a week to go. Like you're not getting anything.
Yeah.
You're out of this game before it even starts. Now what we're doing is I'm getting real close to contract, and I'm just saying, hey, if you want this, go ahead and go look at it. But I'm about to sign this contract. Yep. And then what we've been doing, like you talked about the Heights deal, and then there's 2 other deals. I just threw them right into one of our funds. I'm like, I sent it out. Does anybody want it?
Nope.
No, it doesn't cash flow. And I'm like, it has $100,000 of equity.
It doesn't cash flow year 1.
Yeah, right.
Year 2 will be just fine.
Yeah, when you raise the rents, it's like, yeah, it doesn't cash flow today.
And remember, all the data that we're using is 6 months looking back. We're not forward projecting any of our numbers.
Right.
We're not adding on 3.5%, 5%, 7% like these apartment syndicator nonsense, right?
Yeah.
We're using backward-looking numbers.
Right. So here's the problem. It's like, well, it doesn't cash flow. I'm like,
True.
true.
In December of 2022, buying at the price you're buying today, it would not cash flow.
But
that doesn't mean in December of 2023 it won't cash flow.
But it has 125,000 in equity.
Exactly. Yeah.
All you have to do is hold that for 2 years,
Yep.
sell it. It's probably going to appreciate another 30, 40 grand. Like maybe $100,000 is not a lot of money to you. It's still a lot of money to me. So I'm like, screw it. Let's just go throw in the two funds. So we just threw both of them in the fund.
So we had our 3-day class this weekend, which is always interesting because, well, you made me go to that event. And, I felt guilty like I had to go. And I did go. And
Which event was that?
I regretted going.
Oh.
I didn't like being there. We'll talk a little about that.
Okay.
But it's good to be with, hey, these people are not moving along as fast as the other people in our mastermind. They're new. They're still a little timid, trying to figure things out. They're sharing their experiences. Hey, I went to this room, and this guy sold me a $20,000 education package, but he doesn't bring me any deals, doesn't find me any money, doesn't have the contractors. But you guys do, and you're cheaper than that. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish I didn't spend the 20. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Nothing I can do for you, right?
Yeah, it's we call it the ex-girlfriend.
Ex-girlfriend.
My ex-girlfriend broke my heart. I'm like, okay, but this has nothing to do.
It's not me.
It's the ex-boyfriend. Like my ex-boyfriend cheated on me and kicked my cat and set my car on fire. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not doing that, and I ain't that guy. So
Right.
don't put your crazy on me, right?
Yes.
And so it's the same thing where it's like, well, I was with this other real estate club and they promised this and this didn't happen. That didn't. I'm like, I don't. What's that have to do
It
with
wasn't
me?
me. That's not my club, right?
Yeah, go talk to them. What are you talking to me for?
Right. So we get a little bit of that, and it was real interesting because I forget what deal I put up. It was a Corpus deal. Oh, it was Elena.
Okay.
We're the contractor, is that right?
Yeah, we do.
So it was one that we got off market from someone down in the area. And I said, here's a house. It's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath. We're buying for $59,000. Mm-hmm. It's going to take about $70,000 worth of work. Mm-hmm. So right off the bat, guys, and explaining this deal, there is a challenge. For a lot of lenders, you're upside down.
Yeah, the lender freaks out because it needs so much construction.
But it's also worth $180.
Yeah.
So you're in for $130, and it's worth $180. Mm-hmm. And someone said, well, how much assignment fee you're adding to that? I'm like, we added a $3,600 assignment fee, and it's in the $59,000. And the guy's like, sign me up.
Yeah.
He's like, how much does it cost to join the mastermind? I was like, hey, we'll get there. He's like, no, I get deals like that. I'm like, yes, you get deals like that.
Oh, that's funny.
He's like, okay, yeah, well, we'll talk at lunch. I'm like, and he came in.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, he's like, so the money I'm going to pay for year one, you're going to get me one. How many of those deals? It's like,
how many
typically
you want?
2 to 3, but it's really as many as you want.
I could give you more deals than you can emotionally handle.
Yes.
It's not money or anything. It's like, oh my God, I got this, and now I'm calling this, and we're going to do a draw over here, and I'm closing this one. I'm like, I will wear you down before you can run out. Before I run out of deals.
So there's a guy, and he's a part of another club across town, and good for him, right?
Yeah.
But he's just like, wait, and you have a construction business? Like, my construction business is $6 million a year, and nobody knows the name of my construction business.
Yeah.
It's only for me and the mastermind members. Mm-hmm. He's like, whoa. So if any of this is exciting for you guys, you're listening, you want to go to callwithmrtxre.com. Callwithmrtxre.com. Hang tight, guys. We're going to be back from the break shortly here. Remember, callwithmrtxre.com. I'm always worried he's going to be sitting in my chair when I get in my office.
I know.
Oh, what's going on?
Hey, I just love how he comes to our office, right? I think it's pretty funny.
He knows where the money is.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, coming back. Hey, welcome back, everyone. This is Robert and Jason with the world's renowned Mr. Texas Real Estate. This is the Texas Real Estate Mastermind Hour. So, okay, so I went to that event.
Yes.
A little rough.
A little rough, huh?
Yeah. First of all, good crowd.
Yeah.
I would say that they would tell you there was 500 people there, but probably 350, 375, right? that stayed for the
That's it.
majority.
Okay, yeah.
I literally saw people come in for the meal and walk out.
I hate that.
I
That
was
drives
like,
me
look
nuts.
at that agent. It was
yeah.
either it was like an insurance agent or an old real estate agent coming to get their free meal, right? Because that's
the
what they
joke
do.
is I call it the ill-fitting suits because you
Yeah.
could see it from a mile away. They walk in.
There was one guy exactly that guy. I'm like, oh no, look at this guy.
Suit fits like a box, right?
And then there's the vendors that don't want to pay for the vendor spot.
Oh yeah.
So the
they're
guy
just-
puts his laptop on a table, flips up his little name badge with all his information there, and he's open for business right there.
that is, boy, that would drive me nuts.
Well, I confronted him.
Oh,
even though the
nice.
other guys don't. You know, they're busy running around. I'm like,
Yeah.
hey man, what do you do? Oh, insurance. Oh, which one is your table?
Yeah, you're a
You're
vendor.
a
here.
vendor here? I was like, no, I'm networking with your laptop and your sign on your shirt.
Yeah,
I gave him a little grief.
yeah.
So that
So can you not afford the? It's like $500, man. You can't afford it. You must be. That's exactly what I want. The insurance guy that can't afford.
Can't afford it.
I will tell you one thing: at real estate clubs, it's one, and you people that attend these things do not understand this.
Yeah.
When a vendor doesn't pay for a sponsorship, it's because they can't afford it.
Right.
Why would you do business with someone who can't afford it? Yes. Like, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, I met this person. I met this guy with this construction company, and was he a vendor? No, he's just some guy I met there." I'm like, because he can't afford a vendor table. So now you're going to have him do $100,000 rehab?
Right, out of his backpack.
It's crazy.
Backseat of his truck. So anyway, yeah, there was a little bit of that going on, and that was fun. But all the regulars were there. I said hello. I didn't pay my respects.
You gotta. It's like being in the mob. You
go
gotta show up every now
Hey,
and then.
how's it going? It's good.
Yeah.
So Brant was there.
Oh, good.
Right.
I didn't see Brant forever.
Chris was there.
Yeah.
All the Jet guys were there. Rob Trigg decided to do push-ups. I'm like, I don't
know what's going on here,
This
guys.
is time for me to.
Time for me to
When
check
Rob
out.
Trigg is doing push-ups on the ground in the middle of the event, it's time for me to go.
Yeah, I'm out.
I'm out.
See you guys next time.
Anyway, it was a fun time. It was a good time. Eddie gets some real good information.
Mm-hmm.
Right, it was a real good audience. It was good. It's. I'm happy they're doing it this way.
Yeah.
I'm happy that there is a hard hour of education.
Yeah.
And it's not just look at me. It's like, hey, these are the data. These are the boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom. And it's not both those guys on stage. It's Eddie presenting.
Oh, good.
Right.
Good.
And I think next month Richard will present.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So I was like, that's a much better setup.
Yeah.
Like it a lot. The at-home care guys were there.
Oh, it's a home. The
So I guess they listened to the
nursing home
show.
guys.
They
Oh,
watched
yeah?
the show. He's like, hey, Robert, you're offering all these new events. I'm like, yeah, real estate's boring.
yeah, we're getting pretty bored.
Yeah,
over
I
there.
get bored.
That's what I told everybody. At the
I've already
weekend.
bought all the houses for the year. I've got nothing to do, right? Just
I told the folks at the weekend event. I said, here's the deal. If you're doing real estate right, it gets real boring.
yeah, very boring.
I said, now the people in real estate are complete freaks. So you're going to, that's the exciting part of real estate. It's kind of a freak show. But outside of that, like the actual business side, it's kind of pretty boring.
But the thing is, I didn't recognize him. I knew his face.
Oh, yeah?
He's always well dressed, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And he's like, hey, Robert. And I'm like, hey,
Guy?
right? And I'm like, oh, you're doing it? I was like, yeah. I was like, what? I was like, I'm almost done. He's like, man, you should get it to the assisted living. And I was like, oh, you guys.
You're like, now I know y'all.
And the other guy's like, you'll make a lot more money in real estate than that. And I'm like, I'm good,
No.
boys. I am certainly very good.
If you think Airbnb is challenging, what do you think at-home healthcare is? Like
right. We have to meet. How many meetings am I taking on Airbnb?
on Airbnb right now because we're ramping up for the season.
Summer, we got to order umbrellas and beach towels and all
so
this
it's
stuff.
all that. So then it's anyway, and it's like I can't imagine the home health.
Now, again,
daycare
I'll just say
thing,
this for the
whatever it
record.
is.
If you have someone who's in the nursing side of the world,
Oh, yeah.
inside your family, and you're going to do this, that's 1,000% no-brainer.
Brilliant if you've
Brilliant.
got that
Yep.
staff that's right there. But
If you're just a guy who was a flipper, then a wholesaler, now you're deciding to do this, ooh,
yeah,
I don't want my grandma going there.
no. When you start dealing with people, I worked in healthcare for a long time, so
Yeah.
almost 15 years. It's serious stuff.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Yeah, you got to really be understand. That's a big time business, and you got to be prepared for that business.
Yeah.
It's comparing it to like wholesaling and flipping houses is horrible comparison.
No.
They should never be in those rooms.
no.
Right? They should be at the nursing convention.
Oh,
they should be at
absolutely.
the graduation for the nursing college.
I would.
That's the table I would be
If
at.
I were running that business like they did, I'd never go to a real estate event.
Never. They
I'd go to
should
all
never
these
be in
health-
those rooms.
I would go to all these healthcare events.
Absolutely.
Pitch my education
Yeah.
there. We'll
Team up with a mortgage guy who can
Right.
get them the mortgage. That's how
I'll
I
help.
would do it.
I will help you guys find the real estate.
I'm not going to fix their business.
I know. I would never show up at a real estate
Yeah,
event.
they should not be there. They should be where the professionals are, right?
Yeah. Plus, they're easy to raise money of. Most real
Oh my
estate
gosh,
investors
yeah.
are broke. So,
Ooh, I would be raising money in those rooms too. Yeah,
well, that's what Alex told us we need to be doing.
yeah.
He said you need to go to some of these conventions and just start raising money by the fistfuls. And I'm like, hold on, we're getting there. We're getting there.
So we didn't go, but Think Realty had their event this week too. So people were rolling around. It's a little more on a professional side.
Yeah.
And then I finally realized what it is.
What is Think Realty?
It's a marketing group. It's a marketing arm, as my understanding, of the American Association of Private Lenders.
Oh, it's an AAPL thing?
Yeah, I didn't get it until I'm like, well, they're always at those events, and they're always at this events, and I'm like, oh, this is what it is.
Oh, okay. So what does AAPL have to do with? I don't get it. What are they?
They're the guys that all the hard money lenders. That's the hard money lender professional association.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. But I'm like, so why be involved in Think Realty? Like, I don't.
Oh, because Think Realty is their marketing arm. So they do the magazine, they do the big events.
Oh,
like they've done events in LA, and I didn't understand why they're. I think they're out of Dallas, and I'm like, why are you guys here?
Okay,
I didn't realize what it was, and now that I understand it, I'm like, oh, why aren't you more places?
Right. Gotcha.
You better get your ass to Kansas City, right? You got to get your. Well, that's where, by the way, 913 is Kansas City. That lady.
Oh, 913 is KC. Okay.
$500,000 house, Kansas City.
In Kansas City.
Yikes.
And she does mostly stuff bigger than that.
Oof. So anyway, good 3-day weekend. A lot of input from the folks. We love it. People coming at it. We had 3 very young people there.
Yeah, I had a couple. It's 25.
Yeah.
I don't know how that girl was sitting behind
Same
him.
age. Yeah.
25-ish. And the one gal that joined the mastermind, she's still in her 20s.
So the girl who sat behind him, she told me the story.
Oh, yeah?
She said she was driving on the 10 coming into work or coming home from work. And she gets off the feeder road, and a guy pulls up to her in a red Ferrari.
Yeah.
And she rolls down the window and she says, "Nice car," which, I guess.
Okay. Yeah. Happens every now and then.
That's why guys buy red Ferraris.
Yeah,
right?
that's right. Yeah.
So he's like, "Hey, you want to take it for a drive?"
Oh, really?
So he pulls over and she sits in it. She's like, "This is great." And she asks the question,
What do you do?
He's like, "I do commercial real estate." He said, "My goal is to own 2% of Fulshire."
Oh, interesting.
So she's like, and you, and not much older than her. And she's like, oh, like click.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm in the wrong business.
Yeah.
Here's a guy with this audacious goal, 2% of the marketplace, clearly on his way with a red Ferrari, right? $300,000 car. She's like, I got to get in the real estate. I'm like, yes, you do.
Sure do.
Welcome to the club. Come on in. Yep. So that was a fun story from her. One of the guys that came in, professional, worked for professional career 40 years. He's got his family now, right? So now he's like, hey, I got to take care of my in-law, my son-in-law. Got to take care of my grandkids. They're all old, right? The grandkids like running the cruise.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is perfect.
Yeah.
So I was like, you can't bring them all, but you can bring one at a time and send them in for these events. So for him, what we're providing is magical.
Yeah.
So, again, if you're interested in any of this stuff, joining the mastermind or just sort of figuring out where you're at with your real estate investing career, go ahead and give us a shout. Go to callwithmrtxre.com. Callwithmrtxre.com. There's a form. I need you to be as honest as you possibly can, as you're comfortable being. And then from there, you're going to be hooked up to my calendar. So you're going to get a 40-minute phone call with me. And that's callwithmrtxre.com. Hang tight, guys. We'll be back.
Welcome to the show, Jason Bible, Texas Real Estate Mastermind. Can we say powered by the Texas Portfolio Builders Club?
We can say anything, yeah.
We can say whatever we want.
Yeah.
You
have the co-CEOs here of the Texas Portfolio Builders Club.
Yes.
CEOs and founders.
Founders and
yes,
CEOs.
A lot of those business cards that night.
That's the ones you get. Founder, chairman of the board, CEO, CFO. I'm like, bro, it's you and your wife. Calm down. You and your wife, your little house flipping business. Calm down with the titles.
So I was there at that event with Rebecca and Omar. And at one point, Omar told me to stop talking.
You're just talking trash.
This young couple comes up. Like, what do you do? I'm like, I do a buy and hold portfolio and I help investors figure that out. We're working with 100 individuals. Oh, I'm flipping homes. Oh,
great.
How many have you flipped? Well, I'm looking for my first one.
Oh,
okay. You have a full-time job? Yeah, full-time. W-2? Yeah. How about you? You're married? Yeah. You have a full-time job? W-2? Yeah. I was like, good. You need to keep yours because he's about to lose his.
Ooh.
I was like, there's no way you could flip houses and have a full-time job.
No.
I was like, you need to understand that you're going to, one of you has to retire, right?
Yeah.
And get this going. And Omar's like, tugging on my shirt. And I'm just like, he's like, but I got a mentor. I'm like, I bet you do.
Oh, I bet they're great.
I'm sure they do, right?
That's when I ask, you got a mentor. It's great. So were they doing this with a full-time job and flipping houses?
It's like, come on, guys. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I was like, it's going to be tough for you, man.
It's
It's going to be. It's like, I only work 8 hours a day. I'm like,
okay, you only work 8 hours a day.
Man, you better pray your contractor works 6 hours a day because
Yeah.
you ain't going to see him.
That's right.
So I'm like, hey, man, good luck. But if I were you, I would just be buying and holding. 2 W-2 jobs, perfect. And then Omar's like, hey, you're a little rough. I was like, this is the story that I've heard for the last 10 years.
Yeah, like, Omar, we hear this story
Over
every day.
and over.
And no one is on it. Because guess what? They're talking about it right now. And now they're doing the research. They're like, wait a minute. Everybody told me this was, millions
Easy.
of dollars and easy.
Yeah,
and you
the
could
one
do it
fat
overnight.
guy at the event talked
Yeah.
me down in front of my wife. I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah,
Now
too
it's
bad,
like,
buddy.
well, hold on. Wait a second here.
I'm like, that ain't going to work. Then the woman came over. She's like, I trade stocks. I'm like, oh, okay. Good. She's like, I make much better than real estate. I'm like, you do? What's your portfolio doing? 26%. I'm like, 26% return. Wow. I was like, holy cow. I was like, wow. I was like, so you're making 26% on your portfolio. Why are you at a Wyndham on a Wednesday night? And she's like, no. I'm looking for people to teach. I'm like, oh, you're a teacher now.
Okay.
I was like, wouldn't you just focus on your portfolio and figure out a way to leverage and buy more than teach?
Or start a fund.
And she's like, oh, and then she got mad at me. She's like, well, just sign my thing. I'm like, oh, you're here to win a TV.
You need a TV?
You have 26% returns on your portfolio, and you're here for a free TV.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Got it.
Got it. Yeah. So
The guy with the Ferrari is not trying to win a free TV at the Wyndham.
So here's all right. So we've crapped on that room long enough. Here's how you attack that room.
Yeah. No, there's some hitters in there.
Right,
for
because
sure.
there's at least 20 guys there that were very, very strong real estate investors. I was counting the real people in the room. I was like, man, if I was new, first of all, I would get rid of all this cocky stuff because I went to a day class or two.
Yeah.
And I would just be asking, what do you do? What do you do?
Yeah.
What do you do? What do you do? It's just at the jet table alone.
Oh, just hang around
Hundreds
the
of
table.
millions of dollars of advice right there, right? And then, again, Brant was there, and Chris was there, and a whole bunch of other guys were there. John was there, and I'm like, hey, man, you got to be working this room.
Yeah,
Not strutting around like you haven't even bought your first deal, man.
Yeah, it's the Gary Vaynerchuk nonsense, right? Where it's like, here's the deal. How many did you close this year? I literally just ask people, hey, how many did you close this year? None. I'd move on.
I got to tell you,
close this year?
when I came to Texas, and the first time I went to the Redneck Country Club, you told me to go there. You guys were sponsoring it. I was like, I'm going to do really well in this town. I was like, this is great.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Because I would have to go in L.A. to like 10 rooms just to get the volume of people at one event.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the jet. I'm like, there's 350 people here, man. That's at least 7 or 8 rooms you have to go to in L.A. But here they all at one. I would be working that room so hard if I was a beginner.
Yeah.
I'd be finding all, and we teach people, right? Hey, you go in, you figure it out. You come back next week with a list of your shopping list.
Yep.
Hey, man, I'm looking for a foundation guy because I remember telling me about this one guy, and I call him up, and he sounded really large. Do you have anyone who's better than this guy? Mm-hmm. Right? Because everyone throws around the same name that we know, right?
Yeah.
And the guy pulls a mile. You know you got a problem with your foundation guy when he pulls in with a brand new Corvette, right?
Yeah. I was like, ooh.
Okay.
I know who bought that one this year.
Me. Yeah. So anyway, that's a joke. We like him. I'd be like working that list, right? I'd be working it. Instead, they're like, "Oh, I'm doing great. I'm like, you're not.
Yeah.
You're not.
But
let's figure out what you really need."
Here's the funny part. It goes back to something Ryan Stone has said. He's like, you keep saying the quiet part out loud. You lead with your insecurities.
Yes.
That's why people walk up and go, I'm crushing it. No, you're not.
Destroyed it, man. I'm doing great.
Because the people who are don't talk like that.
Right.
We don't walk in and have
I'm a wholesaler. Well, how do you find your deals? It's like, I do a lot of off-market stuff and like that. How much you paying for marketing? What's your cost per lead?
Crickets.
What's your cost per contract? Mm-hmm. How many of the leads does it take to get a contract? I'm just starting out. Well, why didn't you say that?
Just say that?
Why didn't you just say that? Because I've got 3 guys in my phone that are going to save you about 50% on your marketing dollar. And I would have happily helped you. But you're going to come at me like, there's boss of the room. It's
and you're
ridiculous.
like, dude, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? And I don't understand why that is so common.
I don't either.
I don't get it.
But, man, I met you. I met a lot of people in that room, and I met Eddie, and then you did a room, and then the other guys were in that room, and I figured some things out. And I was like, man, within 18 months of just coming to those events, and I wasn't even here every month, I had everything I needed.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's a room that will provide you everything you need. Just don't act like, stop leading with your ego, right?
Yeah, and then you realize there's nothing there.
Because you know what? A guy like Brant,
Yeah.
if you just went up to Brant and just said, hey, man, I heard you do a lot of real estate. I'm new. Can I just talk to you for 10 minutes? He would happily step aside,
why not?
go get a beer, and give you $10,000 worth of advice.
Yeah, if you had to do it all over again, what would you do differently? Like that kind of conversation.
Start right there, yep.
But when the guy, it almost feels like these newbies come at you, and they're, I'm so great, I'm so great, I'm so great. And then they figure out who you are, and then all of a sudden they get real humble, and then they start asking those questions.
Right.
I'm like, no, I already don't like you.
Yeah, why didn't you start with that,
You're
man?
over here busting my hump, and I'm like just some dude with a beer in my hand at the bar. And
I
I'm like,
worked the tables. I went around. The roof cleaning guy was there.
Oh, yeah?
I was like, hey, man, help me understand this. I was like, what about, do you guys also do some minor repairs? Like there's some of the shingles are tilted up or the ridge line. He's like, we can do it. We don't like doing it. I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to send my roofer out because he charges me too much out for the day. Give me some pricing, right? So I was interviewing him. I knew we had some insurance issues, so I started looking for an insurance guy in the room. I was like, I'm going to work this room while I'm here.
Oh, yeah.
With a mission. But most people are there, again, it's just like, God, what they're giving you, you don't understand how valuable it is.
You are. Well, and I've also said this. Houston is one of the easiest markets to be successful in.
Yeah.
And when I hear people complain here, I'm like, you would get eaten alive in Southern California.
Yeah, it doesn't
you do
work.
not work hard enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the problem. It's like you got too much ego and you don't work hard enough. So and I don't. Yeah, like you said, I don't get it because it is so funny because you would think the most successful guys in the room are the ones that are most arrogant, and it's the newbies. I just don't get it.
Right.
Some of the stuff people have said, like, we're standing there and I'm like, what did you just say? Like, what? Oh, what do you do? I'm like, I don't do anything. I'm the janitor here. Get the hell out of here. I don't wanna talk
Like
to
with
you.
the sub-2 conversation we had. It's like, hey, that's not really designed for residential. It's really designed for commercial, right?
Well, the sub-2 conversation is interesting because I'm like, okay, the way that is being done is illegal.
Right.
Well, no, we're doing this. No, you don't understand. Shooting someone is illegal.
Right.
Even in self-defense, it's actually technically illegal, right? You still got to go to trial. So it's like, look, that just because you write up some docs, like, doesn't make it less illegal.
There's better ways to do it.
Yeah.
And so you get into that all the time. That's the only thing. And hey, hang tight, guys. We're going to come back to the last segment, right? Yeah. All right, hang tight. We'll be back. Hey, welcome back, everyone. This is Robert and Jason with the world-renowned Mr. Texas Real Estate. This is the Texas Real Estate Mastermind Hour, powered by the Portfolio Builders Club.
Oh, you guys are about to see some stuff in the Portfolio Builders Club.
Oh, my goodness.
It is about to get cool. So,
but anyway, we go through that stuff, and then one girl, she got loud. I was like, you can't do this with no money. She's like, what do you mean? I was like, what do you mean, what do I mean? You can't do this with no money.
yeah.
She's like, that's not what I've been told. I was like, more than likely someone was selling you something, a training class for $997 to teach you how to do it with no money. But that $997, by the way, is going to lead to $20,000, which is going to lead to $100,000.
Which is weird because I guess we can't do real estate education with no money.
Right.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Why can't you just teach me for free? Because you get all this real estate for free, right?
No.
Of course not. It's
So
absurd.
Friday night, I'm like, hey, here's the number you really need. So I break them on Friday night.
Yeah.
I make them do, hey, how much money do you want every year from real estate? Someone will say $250,000. Like, great. So we're going to do that levered, right? So let's divide $250,000 by 0.05. Hey, you're going to need whatever that is, $5 million, let's say, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to need $5 million. In order to buy $5 million worth of real estate, you're going to need at least $1.5 billion cash to close. Do you happen to have that? Where's that $1.5 million? Is it?
And they're like, what?
Down in the couch? You just go dig around the couch and pull out 1.5? It's like, no. It's like, okay, then let's figure out what we really need. And that by Friday night, I told you, I mean, we've seen it. People just don't come back after Friday night.
Yeah, they do Friday night and they go, oh God, you can't do this. No, I'm going to go somewhere else.
I'm going to go somewhere else where they're going to show me how to do it for free.
There's this weird human thing where it is harder to expose the lie than is it continue to be lied to.
Yeah.
Because then they get their ego involved and it's like, look, man, just admit that someone. Now, can you do real estate with no money?
Yes.
Yes.
Took me 8 years.
It's just takes a little time to get to that
You need a reputation. You need
right. So what are you
proof of the
trading?
pudding, yeah.
Instead of money coming out of my pocket, what am I trading it for? My expertise.
Yes.
So you're going to pay for it somewhere.
Yeah.
So we're doing some loans right now, right? Doing a bunch of loans. They always ask for how much cash you got.
Yep.
Now, these couple of deals we're doing, we're actually going to get cash at closing. We're not going to have any money out of pocket. But this is what they're saying. They come back and they go, hey, Jason, you need to show me reserves. I need 6 months of reserves, and I need half, 50% of the construction in cash somewhere. $100,000 rehab, so I need to have $50,000 right there.
Yep.
And $2,000 a month. Let's say it's $3,000 a month in carry. I need another $18,000, right? So I got to show them $68,000 in cash somewhere.
Right.
So you have to have money.
Yes.
That's how this works. You know what you
Yes.
don't have to have money to do? Get a job.
I told people that on Saturday morning. I was
Oh,
like,
did you?
Hey, man, you need a better job. No, I'm going to do real estate. No, you probably need a better job.
No, you just need a better job.
Yeah, you got to figure that out.
I will never forget. Tom and I were doing one of our classes. It was back we used to do them at Norris in
Oh, yeah,
Memorial.
that was a nice room. Yeah.
Really nice room, completely full, 120 people. We get to the end of the weekend, great weekend, and this guy sitting in front row, VIP, says, Jason, if I got to make $10,000 in the next 30 days, what kind of property, what do I need to do? I said, you need to get a job. And everyone goes, oh, like literally people were gasping. We were like, oh, and I'm like, that's not
not that
investing.
business, yeah.
This is not that. Have you not been listening the last 3 days? Like, that's not what this is investing. If you knew how to make $10,000 in 30 days, wouldn't you have already done it?
Yeah.
So what are we doing here? You came to an investing class, not a
Freebieing. Yeah.
a freeing class.
Freeing class.
Jason, I don't know anything about real estate, and I want to become a millionaire with none of my own money. I'm like, okay, well, where are you putting you got to put some money in,
Right.
and you can put some time in too.
So I was talking to Omar too before, and he's like, "Hey, I talked to some people, and they're a little afraid of you guys." I'm like,
Good.
good." They should be a little bit intimidated to come to the room because we're going to speak truth to them.
Yes.
We're not going to kiss their ass.
Yeah.
We're going to show them like it is, right? Even even the people that joined yesterday were like, "You guys are a little arrogant." We're like,
Yeah.
"Well, come in my room. Let me show you all the deals I'm doing." Mm-hmm. I was like, "I'm probably doing more deals right now than the club that you're involved in.
That's right. Just the deals I'm doing
Just
this
the deals
month,
I'm doing more
probably
than
more than your entire club.
Yeah, your entire club." And he's like, "You're probably right." I'm like, "I'm not arrogant. We just don't suffer fools lightly.
Yeah.
We're not in it. We're not here to make someone feel good. We're here to make people rich."
Yeah.
Right? It's a big difference.
Yeah. This is not job one is not feel good.
Yeah, it's not
Job
feel
one
good.
is getting rich.
Yeah. It's not feel good. It's not lying to you. It's not making you believe stuff that doesn't exist. It's like, here's the reality. Go do it.
Yeah.
Go do it. So, yeah, if you appreciate that and you'll want to jump on a call with us, call with mrtxre.com. Call with mrtxre.com. We can do, 20, 30-minute call, see if it's right for you. When you go to the website, there's going to be a form to fill out. Please be as honest as you possibly can and you're comfortable being. Set up a call and get right on my schedule, and then we'll jump on a phone call and we'll talk. See if you want to join the mastermind if this works for you, or if you just want to come to 3-day and start learning some more.
Oh, we do? Okay. Sounds good to me. It's real simple.
What did you say? Oh, okay. Yeah, it is real simple.
It's like who's doing deals and who isn't. That's why I always ask the guy standing at the front of the room. Well, what? Because somebody told me, well, we joined this club, and Jason, you I love being lectured to. Hey, Jason, you
don't understand. Yeah.
No. I'm like, Okay, so why don't you ask that person that is teaching your class how many they closed last month and what the name of the title company is?
Send the HUD over.
Yeah, show me the HUDs.
Show me the HUD.
By the way, if you guys ever want to see the HUDs, I'm on stage. I have my laptop. I'm going to open it up right there. So it's like, which I have before. Somebody said, this is when Colby was doing some sales. And he said, he was meeting with this woman. I don't believe he's closed 100 deals ever. and this is like year 6, right? So we were at like 700 something. And he was like, do you want to see the HUDs? And she was like, what do you mean? He goes, he'll just show you all the HUDs. You want to see it? It's on a Google Drive. He goes, I've seen it. Actually, he's got it upstage. You can pull it up. But are you going to join if you see those now that you believe?
Right.
She got real quiet. And it was like, oh, so this is really just an excuse.
Right. That's what we were talking about, Kate. It's like, they're complaining about this. Nah, they are complaining about that, but they're really saying to you is, I'm afraid, I'm afraid, I'm afraid.
Right.
Right.
When I hear all that,
Yeah.
like we got a little bit of pushback the last couple of days. When I hear that it's not necessarily the ego, but it's the I'm invested in this idea, and Jason, you need to agree with me. And I'm like, no, because A, that's wrong.
Right.
And B, you can continue down that road if you want, but you tell me where it gets you. Because guess what? I have only met one wealthy owner finance guy. One. Yeah. One. Out of all the people that do it, that I would consider wealthy.
Well, most don't do it past like 2 years.
No, that's true.
Yes.
But you know who I have met? I've a lot of really rich guys that do buy and hold.
Sure.
I have not met a rich flipper. I have not met a rich wholesaler.
Maybe. No, not consistently. No.
I mean, I hang out with some guys that make
agents that flip $1 million homes, but they don't do it all the time. So
no, I mean, there's a guy I was on a panel with. He made 1.5 last year.
That's great.
And it's great, but I'm like, okay.
What's that tax rate?
Yeah, exactly.
48%.
That's what I told him. I said, you must really love Biden. He flipped out. So anyways, I go, yeah, you made $1.5 million last year flipping homes. You see that guy over there that looks homeless? He's worth $15 million.
Right.
And all he does is buy little single family houses. So I'm like, who's really hustling here?
Anyway. So listen, if you want real estate and you want to invest in real estate and you want to do it an honest and truthful way, you'll work with us, right? And most people really have to go through all those paying lots of classes and lots of clubs. If they still stick around and make it,
Yeah.
you know, that's when I like them because, hey man, you dropped 20 grand with this guy and 10 grand with that guy and you're here with me?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you must really want to do it. Mm-hmm. Let's go ahead and do it now.
Yeah.
This is your home.
Well, and I think the people who are serious and like, I don't want to mention his name, but you know, we started talking during lunch. I'm like, this guy's in. I mean, you could tell he's got a couple projects working on now, and he's just going to do really, really well. And then it's the other folks are like, no, I'm like in this program. I'm like, what are you doing in here? Like, why are you coming to see me?
Why are you here with me? Yeah, you dropped 60 grand with these people. Why are you here at my
this
class?
Guy, you're in this dude's program for $60,000. What are you doing in this room?
What are you here for?
Because to me, if I'm trying to build this big real estate business, why would I waste my time coming over here for 3 days?
Right. Hey guys, we promise to be a little more upbeat tomorrow night. So
we're upbeat.
Yeah, we're fine. All right, check us out tomorrow night. Thanks for joining us. Hang tight. We'll be back with a short message.